Trevor, Trevor, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
This is Trevor Groves here with CUTigers.com. I wonder if you could just take us through the last few months for you personally. I know you've had a lot going on in your private life, getting engaged and so forth. But what was it like just trying to keep yourself in shape? How much access did you have to weights? Keeping your nutrition regimen going, all that stuff. How much of a challenge was that for you?
Oh yeah, it was definitely harder at first because you realize how blessed you are when you get this facility and everything's so easy. You come in and lift, you got your shake and your food waiting on you. And we had probably from March until on our own. So I took about 2 weeks off after spring practice. So we didn't get a big break after the season. And after that, I just started working out on my own here in Clemson. Couldn't come to the facility, obviously, but working out here for about a month, running on my own, throwing a couple days a week. And then, I believe it was in May.
Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2 3.
High school, so that was a couple guys to throw to. Just finding anything I can to stay in shape and to stay ready because I knew I was hoping eventually we'd be able to come back. So worked out good. We came back gotten a bunch of good workouts in. Together, so it's been good.
Trevor, what did you make of the Big Ten and the Pac-12 Unity conferences? And has there been any talk among ACC players about similar?
Oh, we've had some conversations within our own team. I wouldn't say conference necessarily. I'm not sure with the other teams what's really going on that front. But I haven't really read over the Big Ten one, honestly. But the Pac-12, when it came out, I saw it. And, I think I don't necessarily agree with everything that was on there, but I think just people using their voice to support something that they believe in and they want. I respect that. So for me, I think I agree with some of it, and some of it I don't. But that's how life is. So, like I said, I support better themselves and better everyone around them. But I'm just excited to play football, and I can speak for pretty much our whole team that we're just glad to be back.
Trevor, so it does feel like you guys are 5-time defending ACC champs, and you're ready to do more. Can you get ready for another championship season through this whole pandemic thing?
I think so. I know we have a great plan in place, and it seems like everyone's committed to it. We've been doing a really good job of wearing our masks, keeping our distance, keeping the facility super clean, and really just kind of creating a little bubble, if you will. So that's what we're trying to do right now, and we're ready either way. Whatever they tell us that we got our schedule, we know when we're playing. If that stays the same, we'll be ready. If it changes, we're going to be ready for that too. So I think it's just preparing and having an open mind, being flexible to whatever happens, and I'm just glad we got a team that's really committed. So
Trevor, after your freshman year, some people thought you should give up football, wait 2 years, and just get ready for the draft. I'm sure that talk is happening again, that you should opt out this season. Did you ever think about opting out because of the pandemic?
I think everyone's thought about it just with everything going on. But, since I've made the decision to play, I hadn't thought about it again. That's my decision. I'm committed. I want to play my last year here, if that's what I decide to do. It's my third year, even have another one. So I think people are forgetting I got 4 years. So I'm just ready to have a great year and be a part of this team. We're super pumped. Like I said, me and Travis are definitely here. We're committed to playing. And but yeah, that's the thing is once I decide I'm playing, my mind's off of that. But yeah, like you said, people saying I should sit out. And then after this past year, everyone's saying all the stuff I got to work on. So at some point, you got to make decisions for yourself. I'm just excited to play football. That's what I do. That's what I love to do.
Trevor, when did you make that decision, and who did you talk with before coming to that decision?
Just my family and everything, and it really just depended on kind of the guidelines that the NCAA and teams put in place, and also how the schedule was going to look, and whether or not we were going to be able to play a full season. All those things kind of factor into it. And once I heard, it did change a little bit as far as conference only, but we're going to play 10, 11 games, whatever it is. I'm not even sure, honestly. I know it's at least 10. And that we're still going to have ACC championship and playoff games, all that stuff. I mean, that's football. That's what we've been doing, and that's what I want to do.
Trevor, what do you think about people who do want to opt out? What would you say for those who decide they don't want to play college football this season?
Totally get it. I mean, there's a lot on the line for them, and if they feel the risk is too much, I mean, I understand it's something they've worked for their whole life to get a chance to play in the NFL, and they don't want to risk it. You know, I think everyone has different reasons, but it makes sense in this situation. So I respect it, and you know, even though my decision is different, I definitely understand it because I had to make that decision too.
Trevor, this is David Hale with ESPN. I don't know how much you've given any thought to this. The FCS today, a lot of folks talking about moving to a spring season. I know the other divisions have. I'm sure, obviously, we're all hoping that doesn't happen for y'all. But would that change your calculus if if the season gets shortened, if games get canceled, if something got pushed into spring? Would you have to reevaluate your participation from there?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm sure that would take some more decisions that would have to be made, obviously. But right now, this is what they told us we're doing. We're playing this fall in about a month, so we got to get ready. But I mean, like I said, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. And you know, I'm confident we got a good plan, and we'll be ready either way.
Trevor, this is Grace from The Athletic. Are there still people in your ear about it?
Not really. I mean, I think everyone on the outside, just that's how it is with most things that go on in the world. It's just like you hear a lot of outside noise, but you know, my circle, my friends, family support me in whatever I do, and they know that I'm going to make my own decisions. And yes, it is important keeping my family safe and everyone around me, but besides that, this is my decision, and yeah, like I said, everyone supports me. That's close to me. That's important to me.
Trevor, I know you don't go around with a business card that says face of college football, but you are kind of that. As such, do you get a lot of inquiries from, protest groups or even guys that you, like you said, know and respect that want you to kind of join up? And how do you process those kind of requests and inquiries?
Yeah, I mean, you've seen some of the stuff that we've been able to do here in the past, I guess, 3 or 4 months. Can't remember how long it's been exactly, but yeah, and it's cool to be a part of those things. And Darian and Mike and Cornell and all those guys kind of did a lot of the organizing, set it up, and I was happy to be a part of the protest we had here. But just stuff like that, I just got to ask myself, is it important to me? And if it is, how can I help? But other than that, it's not something I really believe and I'm passionate about. I usually don't really get too involved in it because I got a lot on my plate, so I try to keep it to a minimum. And even things that I do care about, sometimes you gotta know what's too much, and you can't be the face of everything. So just playing my role, making the best, what I feel like is the best impact with the platform I have. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Trevor, Lawton Swan, Clemson Sports Talk. Are you concerned at all about when the student body does return to campus, how you guys handle that?
Yeah. I mean, that'll be another challenge. I mean, 2020 has been full of them, and we're figuring it out slowly but surely. So we'll figure it out. I'm not really sure how that's going to go. I know they're going to have some online options, so who knows? I mean, I'll look into that for sure, just to try to keep myself safe and my family. But other than that, I can't really control anything else. Hopefully, people are responsible, wear their masks. But other than that, you just can't really, just don't know. So we'll see here in a month or so.
Trevor, when the numbers kind of spiked early on with the team, was there anything like what was the level of concern with the team then, and what did you try to do as a leader to kind of calm things down?
I mean, I feel like internally we were in a good spot. Obviously, that's not something you ever want, is the numbers to spike like that. But I think we were doing as good a job as we could. It's just it's something that no one's ever really experienced, didn't know how to navigate it. We know a lot more now. We're doing a way better job of just keeping everyone safe just because we know more. But then it was just, obviously we've seen how fast this virus can spread, and that started happening to us. So just trying to keep your circles really small, don't hang out with a ton of people. And then also the guys on the team have learned, on the weekends and days off, you can't just go out and be around a bunch of new people because we got to protect each other. So I think all that's been part of the learning curve that we've done a really good job, I think, of handling.
Trevor, is there an aspect to your game that you didn't get a chance to work on in the off season that maybe you're trying to play catch up on, or you're concerned about at all?
Actually, I mean, the good thing was we were lucky. We got 9 practices in spring, so a lot of teams didn't get any. A lot of teams got 1 or 2, and we got over half of our practices in before the pandemic because we started so early. So really, I got to work on a lot of things I wanted to work on. I wanted to work on my base and just accuracy. I think towards the end of the year, my mechanics got a little bit off, and you could definitely tell. So just accuracy, mechanics, my base in the pocket and my pocket presence, all those things I wanted to work on, and I did in the spring, got a lot better. But, yeah, just over the offseason, continuing to do those on my own as much as I can. It's hard without live looks. But then definitely this fall camp, it's been one of my priorities is just what can I get better at little things, because at this point, I know the offense, still a lot more I can learn as far as big picture football-wise. But in our offense, I know what everyone's doing. I know all that. So just how can I get a little bit better in all these different areas? And that's really what I'm trying to do right now.
Hey, Trevor, this is David Hood. With no T. Higgins, no Justin Ross, that's 120 catches, 2,000 yards that you won't have in your arsenal this year.
What'd you say? It kind of broke up. Sorry about that.
That's okay. No, did you get to spend any time with the newer receivers or some guys that are going to have to step up at all this summer? And then if not, how important is this camp to get that connection?
I mean, in camp, that's no matter how much work you got in, there's nothing like live reps, especially against our defense. I mean, we're the most prepared team because we just go against the best guys in the country, do so many different things. But yeah, I mean, we worked a good bit this summer. Obviously not as much as we wanted because for a month or two, it's not the safest thing to get a bunch of guys to get a throw in when we don't really know anything about the virus and all that. So we didn't throw for a couple months after spring practice because we just really couldn't. So everyone was doing things on their own. But then it's probably April-ish. I can't remember exactly when we started kind of getting back, throw with a couple guys. And then as the summer goes, you try to get more and more, still trying to stay safe. No one really knows what's the smartest thing to do because you got to get ready. So, but really we worked a good bit, had some player-led stuff this summer towards the end in July and early August. But now it's just every day, we're practicing every day. Guys are getting challenged, getting mentally tougher. It's hot out here, long practice. So I think we're definitely getting better.
Trevor, did you get back Joe and Frank today?
We do not. We're not right now. I don't really know, honestly, what the situation is. We're just out here playing, and we got guys that are stepping up. But no, we didn't have them out here today.
Sure. Can you speak to what you've seen from EJ so far?
Yeah, he's looked good. He's had to take like you said, with those two guys being out right now, he's had to take more reps, and you can tell he's getting in really good shape and getting better, just learning. I mean, he's a great football player, just raw talent and just learning little things like me and him getting on the same page, telling him, hey, this is what I like, and this is a better way to run this route or to set someone up, just all that stuff that we're talking about. And just that's what, camp, that's the fun thing about camp is you get to throw to new guys, get guys ready, and by the end of this, you feel really confident in your team.
Did you get to throw with Joe this summer at all?
A little bit, yeah. He got here towards the end. He enrolled this summer, and we threw it for a couple weeks. I can't remember exactly when he got here. And he was out here today, and, I mean, he's a freak. You just look at him, and just huge. I don't even know how tall he is. Long arms. Can go up and get it. He's going to be a great player. Still got, obviously, young like everyone, got some things to learn, but he looks really good.
Trevor, you mentioned that you and Travis are both committed to playing. Given that you two are kind of in the same boat in some respects, like how much did you guys talk to each other, consult each other on the decision to to be here and be committed?
Yeah, I mean, we talk a lot about those things, and I probably shouldn't have spoke for Travis, but we're here practicing, so I assume we're both committed. I'm definitely committed, but no, we talk a lot about these things, and I think that's a tough decision, especially in his shoes. This being his fourth year, and I'm just really proud to be on the team with a guy that's committed and that wants to play football. And that's what we talked about. He loves the game. That's why he's playing. It's not about the money necessarily, and it's good to hear.
Just as a follow-up, Trevor, when exactly did you make your decision, and then what did it feel like once you made it official, I guess?
I don't even know, honestly. And it's not like I even really made a decision necessarily. It was always that I'm probably playing. And then it never got to the point where I was like, okay, I don't think I'm going to play. It was always like I'm going to play until something happens to the point where I don't feel like it's safe or where I really feel like I need to just go on. And that never happened. So I've been pretty much committed to playing the whole time. I mean, I don't think I've ever really gone back and forth.
Trevor, usually
how much did the way that last year ended and I don't know how kind of tongue in cheek it was when you said like people say you have stuff to work on now. Like, how much does that play into your decision, if at all? Did you kind of come out with something to prove this year?
Always. I mean, it's not even necessarily about, last year, obviously that left a bad taste in my mouth. I think this whole team left a bad taste in our mouth, but it's just about, like I said, playing football. This is, I don't want to give up that opportunity to play another year here at Clemson. I love it here. I've met some of my best friends, coaches, everyone. It's just a family, and really excited to have at least one more year here. And I wasn't ready to give that up.
Trevor, Coach Sweeney's
summer with Joe and Frank.
What did you say? I'm sorry.
How much were you able to throw this summer with Joe and Frank?
We were able to throw a good bit. Like I said, once we kind of all came back and we're all on campus for those voluntary workouts in June, we started throwing a little bit, got our timing, and I felt like we were in a good spot. I mean, like we said, we're not here today, but I feel like we got a bunch of good work in this summer at least. So I felt like we left on a good note a couple weeks ago.
And Amari, were you able to work out with him a lot?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Amari was probably the guy I worked out with the most, honestly, this summer. And he's just so versatile. He's out here. He's played a couple different positions already in the first 2 days, just working different things. And he looks great. He looks fast. Definitely can't tell he ever hurt his knee or anything. He looks the best he's looked since I've been here. So just excited for that, for sure.
Trevor, Coach Sweeney told us back in the spring, I guess in our Zoom teleconference in early April, that DJ at times made you look sort of normal because he's got such a strong arm. Do you ever feel that way, like kind of taken aback by how talented he is, and what's your relationship been like with him since he came in the spring, and just your first impressions of him?
Yeah, I mean, he's so talented, and like Coach Sweeney said, it's probably accurate. I mean, some of the balls he throws, and just super strong arm, and he's just a good player, good instincts. Even though he hasn't quite figured out all the offense yet because he just got here, that he just is a good natural player, can run, make people miss, obviously can escape, do everything you really need at the quarterback position. But it's been fun to just be in meeting rooms with him, try to help him learn, and really just it's good to have a guy like that who came here, wasn't promised anything, came into a situation that most people probably wouldn't, and it's been cool for him just to be in a meeting room with him soak up everything, ask me questions, and we really just bounce things off each other.
Trevor, was it at all frustrating as you waited on the ACC schedule to come out this week? I know you guys thought you were going to open up at Georgia Tech, and now you're opening up at Wake Forest. Was that kind of weird as a player this late into the summer, not knowing who you're going to play?
Yeah, I mean, because you spend a few weeks, months preparing for Georgia Tech, not heavy, but just, every week doing a little bit and getting ready. And then all this happens, and you're like, well, I guess we're still playing Georgia Tech, so you keep preparing. And then the schedule gets blown up, it gets changed, and now we finally have one. I mean, I just asked Coach Sweeney, and we're having a senior meeting, and we're talking about fall camp getting ready. I'm like, do we even know who we're playing first? And I mean, obviously it came out a couple days later, but I think the ACC did a really good job of keeping Coach Sweeney and us in the loop, so we knew what was going on. It wasn't like we were just waiting on someone to say something online. We kind of knew what was going on, and they kind of kept us in the loop, which was really good. But I think they did a good job. Obviously, no one knows how to handle this perfectly, but yeah, we're excited. We got a schedule. We know we know the order at least now.
Trevor, could you tell us how different practice has been now and compared to other years, how different it is with the protocols and all?
It's been, I mean, it's still practice. I mean, it feels almost the same, but it's just little things you got to remember. I mean, we got these coverings that when we have our helmets off, got to put them up and try to stay 2 yards apart, 6 feet, just when we're standing on the sidelines. I think other than that, not much is too different. That's just the main thing, is just covering up and staying kind of away from each other so you're not sweating and breathing on one another. So those are the main things.
We'll take a couple more.
You were breaking up a little bit earlier when you were talking, or not breaking up, but I think other people were maybe talking. But I was just wondering if you could talk a little more about I think you said you've had some conversations as a team about some of the Pac-12 stuff and kind of how that's going. And just your thoughts on that stuff.
you just asked what my thoughts were on the Pac-12 and all of that?
Yeah, and I think you said you guys as a team have had some conversations as well, just individually as a team, and not as much so as a conference, about kind of some of the things that they had and that they said.
Yeah, I think some of the good stuff they brought to light was the safety things for COVID, and we've had talks with the coaches and everything, and we feel safe. We feel like good protocols are in place, and as far as just medical coverage if something were to happen, and we feel safe now. We just had to clear those things up, and things that were already in place for our team that we just had to make sure. And those were the main things that we were worried about. Is, you know, it wasn't really the other stuff that they said necessarily that we were trying to push for. It was just, let's just all make sure that we're covered and we're safe if something happens, because we're risking our health by playing, but we all are assuming the risk. So it's not, you know, it's our choice, but we just want to make sure we were covered and safe. And I feel like we're in good hands. So
we'll take one more.
Trevor, what was it? I know you touched on it a little bit, but what has it been like this offseason finding your voice? And I guess kind of what's that journey been like for you as you started to speak up about things that you're passionate about?
I think things change. You know, with the protests and everything, I never really saw myself doing anything like that. Not necessarily to say I led it, but just being a part of it. But things, just as you get older and you learn more and you get new friends, and you just kind of change a little bit as far as how you see things. And I have some really good friends here. That's something they're passionate about, and being friends with them, you see some things that you didn't really see before. So I think that was the main thing, is just seeing things that affect some of my friends and supporting any way I can, because I mean, it wouldn't be a friend if I didn't.